It depends what you mean by control. The governments have authority to make laws, to set things in place with rules for things, how things function, but they cannot force or say, let's say physically force anyone to obey laws, although they have the authority to make laws. Um, Businesses have laws or rules that govern their workers, yet they cannot force their workers to obey those laws, although they have the authority to make the laws. A parent has authority to to have rules in their house and to govern their children accordingly. Yet, especially as the children get older, they realize that they don't. Their child has power, obviously, to say no, and they see it more and more as a lot of them get older. In the teenage years, they get rebellious. Many of them do. So they have authority, but they cannot obviously physically control that person, their child, from doing certain things, right? So it's crazy, in a way that people blame God when evil happens and suffering happens, but they don't blame just somebody else. They don't blame you. What about the devil? What about Satan? For those who believe he exists, but they blame God though. And for those who are going through grieving right now, you're going through a loss of a loved one, you're hurting. Someone close to you as going through some suffering right now, maybe in the hospital or nursing home, or um, suffering emotionally right now, mentally, has died some way, and died in some manner of death. That my condolences. I don't have all the answers in this video, but my condolences. One thing I love what the Bible says about Jesus. Jesus wept. Even in the Bible, Lazarus died, and he still wept, even though he was going to resurrect him. Even though he was about to resurrect him, he still showed that relatability. He still resurrected him um, prior, and prior to that, he cried. Um, and prior to the ultimate resurrection, when death will never be no more, um, I know God still cries or shows emotion. God still shows sympathy, empathy. Um, why does He allow it? All the reasons why, I don't know. There's different answers to put why there's suffering. How can God allow this? Evil's in the world, suffering's in the world, and all throughout the Bible, God never says evil will not happen. He says even though the wicked days are prolonged, the people who are living crazy, rebellious, wicked, evil lives, still living long lives. Yeah, the Bible said, I know it will be well with the righteous. So the wicked have their temporary reward. They have their temporary pleasures for a temporary period of time. But obviously, if they don't turn to God, that's all they get is this temporary world. And you know, and one thing is, this is my personal opinion. That one reason why in heaven, why I think one reason why there be no more suffering, no more evil. Obviously, people have received God, but we have seen the effects of sin. We have seen what sin has done to the world, and we will not think we know better than God anymore. We will think, oh God, we see what evil has done. We see the results, and we cannot go back to that. So that's one motivating factor why evil would not continue in heaven. Once for those who are saved in heaven. So I don't know all the reasons why. Why did God allow that child to be born with those defects? Why did my child have to die in, say, a drowning accident? Why did the person have to die in a plane accident? Why did the person have to die from that disease that came from wherever that disease came from? Why the person got to die from that stray bullet, that random school shooter? Or, even recently, today there was a shooting in the hospital. Why? I don't know. I don't know all the reasons why. I can give some reasons, but I don't know for everything. Now, for suffering, obviously, God has given us. God has given us God has authority, and God has given us the power to give authority. That's where you got people who are presidents and mayors and governors and teachers and all these leaders who have the power, the authority. You usually get given by the people, by popular consensus, to make laws. They make laws, and because we know that we need stability and chaos, stability to have some level of peace, right? So they make these laws. Yet the people who under these laws, they decide often to not abide by the laws, and that's not their fault. The people make the laws. That's not their fault. So don't blame God for so much atrocity that happened, all these atrocities that happened, because the laws are in place. People decide to go against it and break it. Right? The law of gravity is there. You know it is. So don't expect to jump off the building thinking you're gonna fly like Superman. Don't think. The law of gravity will take effect, whether you believe in it or not. The thing that will take effect, whether you believe in it or not. All right? You're not a dolphin. You're not, so I identify as a dolphin. I'm gonna go underwater and breathe water into my body. You don't got gills. You got lungs. Your lungs will not turn to gills. Your lungs will not turn to gills. So you are a human being. Why did that person kill? Why did my loved one gotta die by a drunk driver? Well, nobody forced that person to drink alcohol. No one told that person to just have some fun, have some occasional drink, and then maybe that person went through a personal issue in their life, and they remember the buzz they got, the feeling they got whenever they drink liquor, and that person went through an issue in their life, lost a loved one, went through a job loss, went through a divorce, and that person remember the feeling that alcohol gave them, and decided to take that to the extreme now, and get drunk, and one day go drive, and boom, kills your family at intersection. Kill a family, maybe someone's mother or wife, mother, wife, daughter, son, all died in a big old collision. That person made a decision. That person who shot those people at wherever, no one told that person to grab their gun, and you may say he was hearing a voice. That's our argument right there, but he wasn't forced to. Right, so can't blame God for that. That person decided to with their own volition, right? Why did that person come and abuse your mother, abuse your dad, or abuse you for so many years? Nobody forced that person. That person used their fists and decided to do that. That person decided to live a unhealthy lifestyle and be sedentary, eat crazy, and not take care of their body. That person decided to. So, and when you take that away, when you take away the power for free choice, that's not love anymore. That's control. That's forcing now, and nobody wants to be forced to do anything. Actually, nobody wants to be. I agree to be a programmed robot. That's not love anymore. That's not love. And we have a whole bunch of people of programmed robots running around the place who doing what God says or doing the right thing, yet deep down they're not really even having the option to even do that. They don't have the choice, and that's not love. Love always must have a choice, right? So that's what people do. What they do. Why it continues? Different reasons. Evil is promoted in movies heavily. Look at all the billboards on online and on in cities and streets, advertising liquor and beer and sex and all these things. And what about advertising righteousness? What about advertising wholesome quotes, wholesome themes? And then we cry when evil happens. A lot of it, we do it to ourselves. We continue to push evil out there because it sells, yet at the expense of righteousness. We do it to ourselves for a big part of our suffering. All right, y'all. So God bless you. I love you. The Lord bless you and keep you. I love you so much. God bless you.